What's up, guys? It's Jensen and welcome to another video. So on the first day of NFL free agency, the Cleveland Browns have made huge news. First, they signed Austin Hooper, the tight end from the Atlanta Falcons, to a 4-year deal. Then they make even bigger news, signing the offensive lineman Jack Conklin from the Tennessee Titans to a 3-year deal. And not to mention, they also signed Case Keenum, the quarterback from the Washington Redskins, to a 3-year deal. So the Cleveland Browns made big-time news today. I think these are all huge additions in their own right. First of all, when we look at Austin Hooper, his addition provides another reliable presence to Baker Mayfield. You can argue whether he's an elite tight end or not, but I think, me personally, I think he has a case to be a top 5 tight end in the NFL right now. Obviously, Zach Ertz, Travis Kelce, George Kittle are on another level. Other than those three, you can't really name a better tight end than Austin Hooper. So I think that's a huge addition for the Cleveland Browns. You get another target for Baker Mayfield. I think that's a big-time get. Then we look at this even bigger addition of Jack Conklin, the offensive lineman from the Tennessee Titans. We saw how great the Tennessee Titans offensive line was last year, how much of an impact they made on Ryan Tannehill, how they made him look so much better, how they really helped out Derrick Henry, and it looked like there were a ton of big holes when you look at last year for Derrick Henry to run through for the ball, which is really why Derrick Henry went on that big tear toward the end of the season. So when we look at Jack Conklin, that's a big-time addition, especially when we look at last year, Baker Mayfield. It seemed like he was under pressure a lot. The offensive line was really falling apart. So to get a guy like Jack Conklin, a reliable presence who was part of a really good offensive line last year, that's a huge get for them. And then we look at Case Keenum. Even though you can argue it's an overpay perhaps, I really like Case Keenum because I think that in the perfect system, this dude can still perform like a starting caliber quarterback. If something were to happen to Baker Mayfield, which none of us hope, but certainly in the game of football, something could happen to Baker. So you can have Case Keenum jump in my opinion, and you can maybe ignite something. You wouldn't really fall off the cliff, perhaps. Case Keenum can really keep you in the games, in my opinion. I don't think you really fall off with Case Keenum the way you would with some other backups. So I think that's a huge get for Cleveland. Not to mention that Case Keenum could really serve as a mentor to Baker Mayfield. I think that could be very important. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, is the fact that the Cleveland Browns, now they have Kevin Stefanski as head coach. I think this dude, he's a legit head coach. We saw last year what he did as an offensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings, how he made Kirk Cousins a Pro Bowler. Kirk Cousins looked very impressive last year. A lot of the credit has to go to Stefanski, what he did there in Minnesota. I think that Baker Mayfield, even though a lot of people don't like him, I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan. How confident he is in himself, the way he talks, he's just the type of guy I really like when we're talking about the quarterback position. You see a lot of these dudes at quarterback now, they just stay quiet, and you don't really hear them talking to the media a lot. That's what I really like about Baker Mayfield. He's really edgy. You love his personality, and I really feel like Baker, he's going to take a huge step forward this year under Kevin Stefanski, because when we look at Kevin Stefanski, what he did last year with Minnesota, it was a lot of play action with Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. When we look at what went wrong with Cleveland last year, specifically Baker Mayfield, I really feel like the problem was the fact that Baker, it seemed like he was holding on to the ball too much. I think that at the end of the day, Baker Mayfield has to realize that he's not Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have that type of athleticism. I think he fits much better into Stefanski's offensive system, where it's going to be a lot of play action with Nick Chubb. He's going to get the ball out of his hands quickly to guys like Odell, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, among others. I think it's a perfect combination. And the Cleveland Browns, I know we all declared them as playoff bound last year as the offseason champions, but this year they're for real. They patched up some of these holes. Cleveland Browns are making the playoffs this year. I have no doubt. And I think Baker Mayfield is going to prove the world wrong. I think that he's going to be a borderline MVP candidate this year. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll be providing more NFL and NBA hot takes as the season goes on. And have a good day. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Jensen Sports, as I'll be keeping track with NFL free agency. See y'all later.